What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing a review for American Horror Stories episode. I don't even know the episode number, but it's Feral. Second to the last episode of the season, I believe, because they're going to finish this season and then it should be time for the American Horror Story main show to start. So anyway, this will contain spoilers, but I think it's safe to say this episode was awesome. You know, I really liked it. Not too many complaints. It was really creepy and interesting, and I was engaged. It has another one of those cool concepts, or what am I trying to say? Just like an interesting look on like real life things. Like we had this earlier in the season. I talked about it with we had it a few times actually. We had it earlier with the movies that made the people like possessed, and that's actually like a real thing that people talk about, like imagery and things like that. And you know, I won't go into that too much again. But in this, so we have a conspiracy. My girlfriend was saying that it's a conspiracy about the Yellowstone or the national parks or something like that, where they think that. It's a little bit twisted, of course. I don't think they think that there's cannibals there, but they think they or maybe some of the conspiracies do. But you know, there's some shady stuff going on with the national parks and what they actually contain in them. And apparently, a lot of people go missing at these national parks. Really creepy. I kind of get chills talking about it, right? So yeah, it was an awesome concept, creepy concept, cool. Ryan Murphy, I guess, or you know, I would think it was him who thinks of these ideas. You know, as the showrunner or whatever, they come up with some. I've said a few times, I think they come up with some cool concepts. You know, in this unique, I believe. So we have a returning actor, the Michael. I think his name was Michael Langdon. He was the Antichrist, the little boy from the first season of American Horror Story, and he was in Apocalypse. You know, he played the villain pretty well in that, and then in this, I think he actually nails. I don't know if he's Australian in real life, but he was Australian in this, I think. But he does. I think he does the accent pretty good, and the character. You know, to think about how he played the bad villain to then this kind of interesting. You know, I don't know, just character. I liked him. You know, I thought he did a good job. The guy who played the dad with the long hair or whatever, he was. Yeah, I don't know about his acting too much in some places, but you know, it was fine. And then we have the guy, he reminds me, he's a mix of Bobby from Supernatural, if you know who I'm talking about, or he's been in a couple things. I think his name's Robert Singer, maybe not. But anyway, he looks like him, and then he looks like fucking Todd from Breaking Bad. I know most people would know who that is. He was in a Black Mirror episode as well. One of the things that I'll say that did probably just stick out to me is really strange, and a lot of shows actually do this just very poorly, or movies, I guess, or more shows. They don't age the characters well, you know. I can get it if it's something like with like a time skip and then they're going to continue on with the characters, like maybe they don't want to keep them in prosthetic makeup and things like that. And not that I think, you know, so you did a 10-year skip, and not that I think, you know, he would be like an old man after 10 years. But he looked, I'm pretty sure he looked almost identical, the guy, and then the girl, I think, pretty much as well. They looked identical. You know, you could have at least, I'm not expecting like any kind of like makeup or something, you know, but maybe some gray hair, have him grow a beard a little bit. I mean, maybe he did have some stubble, I don't know, or cut his hair or something. I don't, it was like, really? Really? You could at least done that. So you get some cool gore in here with the sheriff being ripped apart, you know, and then the people all like, you know, the remains of the people in the woods. Um, you know, if you're hardcore horror into the gore and stuff, you get that. Some creepy shots in the woods where, you know, they'll keep walking and you'll see something kind of move. American Horror Story's done stuff like that pretty well in the past, and it was pretty heavily featured in here. And it wasn't a stupid episode. It didn't like, I mean, you can have creepy concepts, but then it really takes it to a different level if you have more of the concepts of it explained. And I think this episode did that pretty well. You know, way better than what I would have expected it to, you know. So we get the whole, you know, them asking real questions that people would ask. Like, so the government just knows about this and they're not doing anything about it? You know, well, yeah, because, you know, they making, you know, a bunch of money off of this. and you know, they keep letting them come through. And then it's even interesting, I liked it whenever it was like, okay, so somebody goes missing, you know, and you just let that happen. Well, no, when somebody goes missing, the government more than likely would step in, which they did in the show. They have the military soldiers go in and wipe out the people who presumably took the kid, or whatever, the cannibals and that. And then they even have a realistic way of how these things can take down soldiers. You know, they light the fire and they have their night vision goggles on, and it's, you know, too bright because they got their goggles on, and that's how they get the jump on them. You know, so all stuff explained pretty damn well, I think. Let's see. The only thing, I guess, of course, you don't always need this explanation. Sometimes things are best left to the imagination. But it would have been cool to, I guess, you know, how did the kid become like the king of everybody, you know, whatever, to where he's doing the commands at the end. But I do like that, like, kind of dark, twisted ending where, you know, they're all happy they see their son again, and he recognizes them, but he doesn't give a shit. He gets them killed anyway. You know, I like that kind of dark twist, dark end. And that's the cool thing about some of these episodes too, is they can kind of do a dark or just, you know, real snap ending, because a lot of these characters, or probably most of all of them, except for the characters in the first episode, we're not going to see them again. Nothing's going to come of it, so you can kind of just do, you know, just off them right there, you know, and just have it. You don't have to develop on them for the next episode or whatever. So yeah, all in all, really good episode. Really liked it. Really creepy, actually. Great concept, you know, overall. And yeah, that's all I really got to say. Don't want to ramble on too much about it. But yeah, I'll keep doing reviews for American Horror Story. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.